स्कूल में बच्चा भी यदि आ से आम सीख लेता है वो बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन उसे ये पता होना चाहिए आ से आम ही क्यों और चीजें क्यों नहीं।
अगर बचपन से ही स्किलिंग होगी तो शायद उनकी ट्रेडिशनल लाइवलीहुड से उनको थोड़ा सा आगे ले जाने में हम एक स्टेप हमारे लिए होगा, जहाँ पे बच्चे को एक टेक ऑफ स्टेज हम दे पाएंगे।
फैमिली वाले कहते हैं कि बिजनेस करने के लिए बहुत पैसा चाहिए, ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए, तो इसलिए वो फैमिली वाले कहते हैं कि नॉर्मल जॉब करो और आराम से अपनी ज़िंदगी जियो।
आजकल सभी का सपना होता है सरकारी जॉब का, लेकिन हमारे में ऐसा है कि मुझे था, मेरे बचपन से था कि मुझे बिजनेस करना।
लेकिन इसमें मेन बात यह है कि आपको एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप और बिजनेस इकोसिस्टम की जानकारी होनी चाहिए।
देखो, आप लोगों को आइडिया तो पता है, सबको पता है कि प्रोडक्ट बनाना है, पर ये भी तो देखना है कि प्रोडक्ट की नीड क्या है मार्केट में, क्यों चलेगा आपका प्रोडक्ट, मेन कस्टमर को चाहिए क्या वहाँ पे।
और वो जानकारी देने के लिए, उस पूरे इकोसिस्टम को समझने के लिए हमने ये कौशल बिजनेस चैलेंज चलाया कि 12वीं क्लास के बच्चों को ही बता दें कि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप और बिजनेस इकोसिस्टम क्या होता है। इन सब चीज़ों को पढ़ें, इनको समझें और अपना एक बिजनेस प्रोटोटाइप मॉडल बनाएं। ये इस पूरे KBC का उद्देश्य था, यही एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप भी है।
एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में इस प्रोग्राम को डिजाइन किया गया, जो हमारे 1381 स्कूलों के अंदर 15 अलग अलग स्किल्स जो हमने चूज कर रखी हैं लोकली, उसमें एक छोटा सा पाठ्यक्रम बनाते हुए इन बच्चों को उसमें इन्वॉल्व किया गया।
इसमें 25,000 बच्चों ने पार्टिसिपेट किया, 5-5, 4-4 बच्चों की एक टीम थी, टीचर। इस प्रोग्राम को हमने 3 स्टेज में स्ट्रक्चर किया था। पहला स्कूल लेवल राउंड्स थे, सेकंड डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल राउंड और थर्ड है स्टेट लेवल राउंड। इस 3 लेवल के बीच का जो कार्य है, जो हमारी टीम ने करा है, उनको ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझाने के लिए बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है। जब इनके डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल राउंड हुए थे तो उसकी जो जूरी हमने बनाई थी कमेटी, उसमें कम से कम एक ऑफिसर, असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर MSME या इंडस्ट्रीज के थे। तो जब बच्चों ने उनसे इंटरेक्शन की है तो उनको एक्चुअल इंडस्ट्री, स्टैंडर्ड इंडस्ट्री की बातें पता लगी।
हमारी कॉस्ट लगा लेते हम 5 रुपए की आती है, क्योंकि हमारा जो रबर बैंड है वो 5 से 7 रुपए मिलता है और उसमें हम 7 से 8 स्क्रंच आराम से बना सकते हैं। तो एक की आप लगा सकते हैं 1-2 रुपए। तो उस हिसाब से हमें लगा कि इसका आकर्षण बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो हमें इसकी कीमत सही सही रखनी चाहिए। तो हमने इसकी जो बेचने के पैसे लगाए वो 30 रुपये लगाए। हर कोई अफोर्ड कर सकता है इसे। हमारा जो बिजनेस आइडिया है वो लास्ट स्टेज यानी बेचने के स्तर पर है। हम अपने बिजनेस को जारी रखेंगे, हम रुकेंगे नहीं।
मेहनत करती है लड़की, और मैं तो ये कहता हूँ कि ये बहुत आगे बढ़े।
बहुत बढ़िया है जो यह छोरी अपना पाया पे खड़ी हो जा और अपना बिजनेस चलाओ।
जो 5 टीमें हमारी डिस्ट्रिक्ट पे सिलेक्ट हुई थी, हमने काम करने के लिए 3-3 हज़ार रुपये दिए थे। उनमें से फिर 5 में से एक टीम हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में सिलेक्ट की। टोटल 22 टीमें सिलेक्ट हुई। अब इनका स्टेट लेवल कंपटीशन होगा। इनमें से टॉप 5 टीमों को तो 10,000 रुपये मिलेंगे और बाकी जो 17 टीमें, 18 टीमें बच गई, उनको हम 5-5 हज़ार रुपये सीट मनी देंगे, वो अपना प्रोटोटाइप बना सकते हैं।
मुझे ये देख के बच्चों के प्रेजेंटेशन से बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आज के 12th क्लास के बच्चे अच्छे ऐसे बिजनेस के वर्ड्स जार्गन यूज कर रहे थे, जो कि हम लोग भी जब थे तो हमें तो पता ही नहीं था क्या।
भविष्य की जो शिक्षा होगी वो इसी तरह से होगी कि हमें सिर्फ बुक्स पढ़कर आगे नहीं बढ़ना है, हमें किसी न किसी स्किल को लेकर चलना है। जब हम स्कूल से, कॉलेज से बाहर आए तो ये हमारे दिमाग के अंदर सोच ना रहे कि हम करें क्या।
फिर पहले मैंने सोचा था कि इस प्रोडक्ट को बना तो लिया है, इसको यूज़ कहाँ पे करेंगे। KBC प्रोग्राम के अंदर आए अलग अलग इंटरव्यूअर्स के आगे और अभी सर के आगे भी हमने जो हमारा मॉडल था प्रेजेंट किया। थोड़ा बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस आया। कॉन्फिडेंस आने के बाद इसको सोच रहे हैं कि इसको आगे भी प्रोवाइड करेंगे।
तो मुझे KBC के बारे में ये चीज़ अच्छी लगती है कि वहाँ से मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली, मैं अपने आप को इतना इन्हेंस कर सकी।
हम स्टेट लेवल पे अपनी डिस्ट्रिक्ट को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, अपने आइडिया के थ्रू अपने स्कूल को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, तो ओवरऑल बहुत अच्छा लगा।
आप नौकरी लेने की बजाय नौकरी देने वाले बने। जब आपकी स्टेटस अच्छा होगा, आपका परिवार का होगा, समाज का होगा, गांव का होगा, सबका होगा।
Glimpse of what really happened in the state, and so this brings me to introduce the stellar panel that we have today. So I'll call them one by one. I'll also introduce them. So first, I'd like to call Rashmi ji, ACS Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh was one of the few states who adopted this model, and she was the leader who sort of gave her blessings and made sure it really happened in the right spirit. So welcome, ma'am. Then we have Dr. Mayank Verma, who you already saw in the video. He was the force behind the Kushal Business Challenge in Haryana and will actually share his experiences from what really happened there. So welcome. Then we have Samar Bajaj, who's head of education at Michael and Suzel Dell Foundation. Well, they are the ones who are accelerating this vision, working hand in hand with Udyam. So welcome. And finally, I have Shyam Suryanarayan, who is the director at Udyam Learning Foundation. Udyam is actually the academic and technical partner who's working with across the states to make this really happen. So we have a really good mix of practitioners and thinkers and everybody behind it. So I'm going to quickly move now and sort of ask them questions and share their experience. Okay, Shyam, so I'll start with you. I have shared a little bit about why we are doing this idea of entrepreneurship in schools. But given you're the academic mind behind it, tell us a little bit more about the principles that go into the design. Some of them I sort of called out, right? But would love to hear from you, what all do you sort of keep in mind as you're thinking about this design and making this work across different states?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, before that, I have a personal. I would like to just acknowledge the presence of Rashmi ma'am, who's actually taken off MP program, Mayankji, in Haryana, and Samar, who's been helped us at MSDF Form and Spirit. So, I mean, what we are doing is enabling, but driven by the leadership here. So, just wanted to, say that right at the outset before I begin. Now, in terms of design, I think you showed the competition. And what we've seen across most, whether you see it in colleges or in schools, competition is a mode that you talk about entrepreneurship. And what we've recognized is that competition does do a great job of spotlighting that top 1%. And it does lead to role models of inspiration, and that works well. But what we've seen is very often when you go into classrooms, the rest of the students sometimes feel demotivated, that this person has won, so we shouldn't try. So one of the, I think, guiding principles for us is every student can build an entrepreneurial mindset, and every student goes through a curriculum-led journey, at the end of which every school has a school mela where every student team can present their projects, which is attended by their community members, by their parents, and that leads to a lot of inclusion, which is, I think, a very core design principle. And what we've also seen is, from our experience working, when I say Uttarakhand, for example, we've also doing joint research with McGill University. And it showed clearly that classrooms where curriculum-led projects were happening, where there was project plus curriculum, there was significant mindset shift. But classrooms which did projects but without the curriculum, we didn't see that mindset shift. So I think even the research is telling us that you need that booster of curriculum. And the entire curriculum, if you look at it, I think the core component of it is reflection. Because when you go through experiential learning, it is the reflection that translates your experience into an insight, which sticks with that, with the child. And that's why I think, even our teacher training is anchored around how do you build that capability in teachers to move away from delivering lectures to actually now moving into a facilitation mode. So their teacher training itself is now experiential. They don't go through, our training with them is experiential, and then taking them, and it's a journey. Let me be very clear that it's a journey, but the journey is how do they move towards facilitation. So that's, I think, another very key design principle. The other one is, I think, about community. It's very clear that this is all about real-world experience. And real-world experience is when you bring the community into the classroom. And that's one of the things that we do. How do you bring live community experts into the classroom? We call it live entrepreneur interactions. And they come into the classroom, interact with the students and share their journeys. What we also do is we attach, I know in Haryana, for example, so many mentors have been from the local community. Because the idea is that it has to be relatable mentorship. And that's something that's a very key component of bringing community for mentorship. and parents also ensuring that the parents are supporting the program. In fact, recently, yesterday I went to schools and we asked the girls, how many of your parents know about the program? And all of them put their hand up, and that was very heartening because that support helps them in, taking this program more seriously. Sometimes they say, "Padhai karo, ye sab mein mat jana," but I was very, heartening to see that. I would give one more point on the design is money. And when we talk of money, many times we talk about entrepreneurship and money as investment, seed money. But in the context of schools, what we've seen is a little bit of money at the school level also. It's more an unlocking mechanism. You give that money, and what we realize is around 500 rupees per team even that much, gives them the courage to try an idea and try a prototype. And that helps unlock their mindsets and also gives them the freedom to try, which many times they're scared of trying and starting. And we want to, before you do a startup, you start a startup. So I think that kind of direction is something around money. And I think I'd just like to add one last point, which I think is most important, which has been done very well by, I would say, and maybe they should speak more about it, is belief, which I think is a starting point, which is how do you communicate about the program, about why are we doing entrepreneurial education. And that belief is something which is many times done top-down, which is initiated, and then once people know why they're running the program, then we see a lot more adoption. And that's a journey, but it has to be led, and that's something that we've seen, and I'll pass it on from here. Thanks.
Thank you, Shyam. So inclusion, reflection, community participation, money, and belief are some of the things that you sort of expanded on. With that, I'm going to now move to Rashmi ji. So in Madhya Pradesh, this is happening in all schools in 4 districts, and across the state, in all the 52 districts, it's happening across all the PM Shri schools. And again, you started with small pilots and then sort of moved to this scale. Would love to hear a little bit about your learnings from this getting implemented in Madhya Pradesh. So what were some of the things that really worked well, some challenges that you might have faced? Overall, any learnings that you'd like to share?
So I think I'm going to start with how we started about it. And I remember I had somehow heard about it from somewhere, and I had a very bright young consultant working with me, and I spoke to him, let's find out more about this. And he did some mehnat and found out about Mekin and Shyam, and we were in Bangalore for some work and we met them. And then we realized this is a fantastic idea, we should try this out in schools. So we initially thought we'll do it in Bhopal and Indore because it's easier to monitor. Then we scaled it up to 4 districts, and now it's gone up to PM Shri, all PM Shri schools across the state. I think when we started with it, we were, I wouldn't say skeptical, but yeah, I mean, we thought it's an exciting idea, but let's see how it goes. And the excitement amongst the teachers and the children and the kind of ideas that they came up with was very, very interesting. And we really felt that this is very important, more so in government schools, because you see, we are actually dealing with the bulk of the children in a state. And a lot of these children will not be able to access good colleges because they don't have the kind of money or the family support. Sometimes they will not even be able to go to college because they just don't have any money. And unfortunately, given the board results, there may be kids who are actually not even passing the board exams. So we are not looking at these children only in terms of, okay, they'll go to a college and they'll get a job. We need to look at children, and we need to figure out their, post-school lives as more productive. And how can we get them to do something on their own? And see, what prevents a child in a government school doing something like this is exposure. They don't know how to go about it. And Shyam mentioned about seed money. I think any entrepreneurship is about risk-taking ability. A child from a government school has no risk-taking ability because there is no money in the household. If we give some money, as he said, unlocks. It unlocks that kind of potential, and it encourages children to think because there is a little bit of money that they can use to think of things that they couldn't have thought of otherwise. So our learning has been that it's a wonderful program. We started with class 9 and 11. It was meant to be, expanded further. But right now that has not happened because, and again, rightly so, there is this feeling that class 10 and class 12 are board exam years, so we need to focus a bit more on board. But all the principals that I spoke to, I think, feel very strongly that it should be a 4-year program, because that's when things really crystallize for children and they can move forward. So just to sort of sum it up, I think for not just government schools, for all children, I think it's a very important project, because it helps children look beyond just studies. It helps them gain confidence, and it helps them develop risk-taking ability, and to really think that, okay, the world's my oyster. I can look beyond just what is happening in the classroom and think of my life in very different terms.
Thank you so much for sharing. And now I'll move to Dr. Mayank. So something that we saw here as well, right? It started with the competition in Haryana. And I think there was a lot of momentum around it that was built in Haryana to make that possible. So I wanted to learn a little bit from you in terms of, in Madhya Pradesh, for example, they piloted in 2 districts and then they sort of, scaled it up. In Haryana, it started with the competition and sort of, took momentum from there. So what was your approach there? How was that energy sort of created in the system in the year, like the previous year, in phase 1 of KBC?
So it was totally a new curriculum. बिल्कुल नया ये सब्जेक्ट था जिसकी नॉलेज ना तो हमारे टीचर्स को थी, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इकोसिस्टम पूरा, ना हमारे बच्चों को थी, ना किसी स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे में एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में पढ़ाया जाता है. तो इसको मोमेंटम गेन करने के लिए सबसे पहले हमने जो टीम चुनी वो मोटिवेटेड टीम थी, जो इस विषय पे डेडिकेटेडली काम करना चाहती है. वो थी हमारी हेडक्वार्टर की टीम और हमारे पार्टनर समग्र और उद्यम. उस टीम ने 1 महीने के समय में एक छोटा सा करिकुलम बना करके बच्चों को पढ़ाया और कंपटीशन उनको बताया कि आप अपना प्रोटोटाइप या बिजनेस आइडिया बनाएं. शुरुआती दौर में वो बिजनेस आइडिया बिल्कुल रिफाइंड नहीं था. बच्चे ना तो फाइनेंसिंग पे बच्चों का कोई टिप्पणी थी कि फाइनेंसिंग कहाँ से आएगी बिज़नेस की, ना मार्केट कंपटीशन के बारे में उनका कोई अंदाज़ा था, ना उन्हें ये पता था कि रेवेन्यू प्रोजेक्शंस इसकी क्या रहेंगे, प्रॉफिट लॉस के क्या चांसेस हैं, ना सप्लाई चेन लॉजिस्टिक्स के बारे में बच्चों को पता था, ना टीचर्स को पता था. तो धीरे धीरे ये कॉन्सेप्ट्स उन टीचर्स से मोटिवेटेड जो बंदे थे हमारे, उनकी मदद से बच्चों को सिखाए गए. सेकंड, दूसरी जो चीज़ हमने की, जो फील्ड लेवल ऑफिसर्स हैं, एसडीएम, सिटी मजिस्ट्रेट्स, एडीसीज, कई जगह पे डीसीज, इनको पर्सनली टच किया कि आप यहाँ कंपटीशन हो रहा है आज, आप यहाँ जाएं और अपने इनपुट्स दें. तब जो खुद फील्ड लेवल ऑफिसर्स वहाँ गए तो टीचर्स में, प्रिंसिपल्स में, डीओज में जोश आया, वो थोड़ा सा इसको पुश मिला. दूसरा, हेडक्वार्टर से मैं, डायरेक्टर साहब और हमारे कुछ असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर्स पर्सनली बच्चों से इंटरेक्ट करते थे वीसी के माध्यम से. उनकी टीम को सामने हम बिठाते थे, उनसे बिजनेस आइडिया पूछते थे और काउंटर क्वेश्चंस करते थे. एक बच्चे ने जैसे क्लोथ्स के प्रोडक्शन का, कपड़ों के प्रोडक्शन का कुछ बिजनेस आइडिया बताया. तो हमने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा कि इसको अगर 100 टाइम्स 1000 टाइम्स आपको प्रोडक्शन बढ़ानी है तो आप इसमें क्या आपको इनपुट्स चाहिए. एकदम से वो थोड़े उनको लगा कि भी क्या पूछ लिया, बट जब उन्होंने स्टडी किया तो प्रोडक्शन अपस्केलिंग कैसे होती है, वो सब मशीनरी मैकेनाइज प्रोडक्शन क्या होता है, लेबर कैसे आप सोर्स करेंगे, वो सब चीज़ें उन्होंने बच्चों ने पढ़ा. तो कांस्टेंट पुश नजिंग ही फर्स्ट फेज में हमारा एक मेथड था जो इसको थोड़ा मोमेंटम मिला.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we'll come soon to इस साल क्या हो रहा है हरियाणा में. Building on that, we'll come back to that. I'll circle back on that. But before that, Samar, you've seen this happening across different states. You've been partnering with Udyam on this. So one would love to listen about your experience as well. And what would you define as like the benchmark here? कि अगर हम इसको envision करें, तो what should be the benchmark? One is your current experience of how you're seeing this pan out across the country. And what do you think is also going to be the benchmark for this in your experience?
If I had the answer to that, I think I would be very successful. But I think first I would say that, this is a little bit of a shift in the way we used to think about the role of the school, right? All of us have grown up in the system where it was only about academics and marks. And, now I think kids are graduating school where there are many different opportunities available to them. There is no one set path. We also know that if all kids go down that one set path, they are not all going to succeed because there's only limited availability of specific types of jobs which were considered very aspirational. So I think some little bit of myth busting also needs to be done. And we are seeing some of that, you know, kind of reverberate back into the school system to say, okay, we need to open it up a little bit and, you know, build out some different kinds of skills also. In terms of benchmarks, or I would say how we think about what does success look like, right, for a program like this. Look, I think there's enough longitudinal data from other parts of the world which is showing that these skills do lead to better life outcomes, right, in terms of whether you are able to start a business, whether you're able to get into a educational program of your choice, how and when those opportunities present themselves. I think it's a little bit hard to, you know, say कि third year के बाद ये होगा, seventh year के बाद होगा, but it's proven very well. I think the good thing is that Udyam is also doing a longitudinal study of their own, which is going to track students in Uttarakhand who have had this kind of entrepreneurship mindset building support. And you know, how does it actually play out? But I think longitudinal data बहुत clear है, वो सब हमें intuitively भी पता है कि these skills are needed, right? So I feel कि उसको बार-बार, like, we don't really need to revisit that debate. There are some outcomes we can track at the end of class 12, where is, you know, around enrollment into either some kind of higher educational program or getting into a job or starting your own business. So we really look at it as a post-12th transition rate. Today, if you see, like, about 25-30% of kids are going to colleges, few small single digit are going to vocational, and then actually a lot of kids are graduating school and not doing anything, right? So we are losing 4-5 very critical years in which either they should be building a skill by, you know, acquiring it in an educational setting, or they should be working and acquiring it in a practical setting. So I think that if system can get behind one metric, I think that is the post-12 transition rate and the quality of that transition if we can start to map. And at the program level, I would just say go to schools. जब आप बच्चों से बात करोगे, the kind of conviction they have around their, you know, businesses, the excitement with which they speak about, you know, working in a team, मैंने ये किया, फिर मेरी लड़ाई हो गई, फिर then we got back together as a team. I think, you know, that's building real world skills. When you talk to the teachers, I think teachers themselves are transformed. I remember speaking to a teacher who was a maths teacher and said कि, you know, kids behave very differently with me when I'm in the maths class. वहाँ पे मुझसे सब डरते हैं, but you know, when I'm teaching the EMC class, it's a completely different kind of interaction, you know, like a two-way communication where all parties are learning from each other. So I think program level pe anybody who's involved in project-based learning programs like this, which are well structured and are being implemented well, I think वो classroom में पता चल जाता है whether, you know, it's working or not. But we are also seeing like some changes on attendance, on classroom engagement, and also some improvement in skills, which is being tested through things like, you know, not just the competition, but I think a lot of states are also doing, you know, life skills assessments to see how kids are improving. So that's really how I look at it, you know, longitudinal data, well proven. Transition rate, I think, is something we should all think about very carefully, that how can we track it as a system to show that this is the impact of programs like this. And then, you know, at the program level, like day to day, there are many things that are very visible also at the school level. So I don't have a benchmark yet, but I would say that this program is a pretty good one, and happy to see it getting scaled up also across many states in India. Like, I think that's the proof of the pudding.
Wonderful. And so you briefly mentioned a little bit about like Uttarakhand mein Udyam is doing a longitudinal study, which Uttarakhand actually has a different experience in terms of what both Rashmi ji and Dr. Mayank shared about, you know, how it was a little bit of a interest from the state and then it went down. But in Uttarakhand, you experimented with a little bit of a different model of how it panned out. So maybe very quickly, Shyam, if you could tell a little bit about what's happening in Uttarakhand at this point of time when we talk about this initiative.
Yeah, so Uttarakhand, maybe unlike other states where we work with the bureaucrats, and then we've come, you know, and then there's adoption and it goes. Uttarakhand, we started with an experiment with 7 schools, and very small, you can't even call it a pilot. I think it's an experiment where we actually iterated our curriculum, got the curriculum right, and showed it to SCRT at the end of that year, 21. But I think based on that, even that 7 schools, they were, you know, confident enough to say, let's try it out in, you know, 25 schools across all 13 districts. So we went to around, you know, 300 kind of number. And I think through that process of going across, एक चीज़ जो हुआ है कि they started Uttarakhand has this problem that they wanted to arrest was migration. And there is this, how do we arrest it? And they wanted a positive approach to addressing it. And then I think there was this belief that this could be one of the ways of approaching, Palayan ka problem. And then this started getting a little more interest, and I would say that the mid-level officials actually took it and owned it. We moved from 300 to 1,000 schools. Initially it was just 9th standard, and then 9th, 10th, 11th. Today it's all grades, and now as we speak, the state is talking about 6, 7, 8 maybe jo Kaushal Bodh curriculum which is there. We want to integrate entrepreneurial mindset education into Kaushal Bodh also. So we are looking forward to that 6 to 12 complete journey. So as a kid goes through this, we're hopeful that they build both the skills and the mindsets that are required to launch into the world. Yeah.
So what's beautiful is that it's may have different starting points in different states, but how it has continued and how it has evolved in different contexts. Which brings me back to you, Dr. Mayank. I think this is phase 2 of Kushal Business Challenge in Haryana. So tell us a little bit about what are you doing differently in this phase from the last phase that happened last year.
Actually, idea जो था हमारा एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की सारी कड़ियों को समझाने का है. रॉ मटेरियल सोर्स करने से लेके मार्केट फेलियर तक सारी एस्पेक्ट्स को समझाने का था. और जो बच्चों को बिजनेस मॉडल बनाने के लिए कहा गया था, उसमें भी ये सारी चीज़ें रिफ्लेक्ट होनी चाहिए थी, जो कि लास्ट ईयर इतनी अच्छे से नहीं हो पाई. तो इस बार ज़्यादा फोकस हमने करिकुलम और ट्रेनिंग पे किया. बड़ा एग्जॉस्टिव डिस्कशन करके करिकुलम हमने बनाया, जिसमें 8 हफ्ते की बच्चों को पढ़ाई कराई गई. उसके बाद उन्हें बोला गया कि अब आप अपने बिजनेस मॉडल आइडियाज़ बनाएं. उस 8 हफ्ते की पढ़ाई में भी मास्टर ट्रेनर्स जो थे वो ऐसे लिए गए उद्यम लर्निंग फाउंडेशन की मदद से, जो मोटिवेटेड थे. उनके पहले इंटरव्यू लिए गए, उसके बाद मास्टर ट्रेनर्स को सेलेक्ट किया गया, ताकि जो हम पढ़ाना चाहते हैं बच्चों को पढ़ें, उसके बाद वो साइंटिफिक और लॉजिकल तरीके से इस मॉडल को बनाएं. अगर रीच की बात करें, लास्ट टाइम 25,000 बच्चे 5,000 टीमों में एनरोल्ड थे. अब की बार 1.25 लाख बच्चे 25,000 की उस टीम में हैं, उसमें अब की बार पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं. मेजर शिफ्ट गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से जो पुश मिला, पिछली बार इट इज़ अ पायलट प्रोजेक्ट, इस बार माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने इसे बजट स्पीच में शामिल कर लिया है. सीड मनी भी लास्ट टाइम की हम 10,000 रुपये 5 टीमों को दिया था, इस बार 1 लाख रुपये 110 टीमों को दे रहे हैं. 1.1 CR हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे. और वो सीड मनी देने के लिए भी स्किल डिपार्टमेंट से हमने टाई अप किया है. जो 110 टीमें आएंगी, उनको वो इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर की मदद से उनके आइडियाज़ को और रिफाइन करेंगे, सो दैट दे इफ़ दे वांट टू विश टू कंटिन्यू दे कैन कंटिन्यू ऑल्सो. तो दिस आर द मेजर चेंजेस जो इस साल हमने किए हैं. बट करिकुलम से इस बार अभी हम सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है, ये उद्यम भी नहीं है, हम भी नहीं है. नेक्स्ट ईयर वी विल गिव मोर फोकस ऑन करिकुलम, और अप्रैल से ही टीचिंग ट्रेनिंग चालू करके 6 महीने की पढ़ाई, उसके बाद बच्चों का टेस्ट जो है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ द प्रेजेंटेशन वो हम लेंगे.
Wonderful. Seems like अब already सोच लिया है आपने कि अगले साल इसको कैसे improvise करना है. So Rashmi ji, अब now that we've heard a little bit about this, हर state में कुछ तो चल ही रहा है, but basis your experience, all the years that you've worked across different things, what will it really take to make it, at a national level, make it happen, make it like a movement, like really reaching every student? So what do you think is the next big unlock for it?
So I think that now that it has moved from state to state, the understanding and the realization that this is a very important project, and it should not be treated as a project, it should actually be now part of the curriculum, is slowly seeping in. So there are 2 ways of going about it, scaling it up nationally. One is that you change the board's curriculum, make it like vocational, make it like a curriculum, mark children on that. So that is one way of going about it. But I'm not sure if that's the best way of going about it, because somehow then I just feel that it'll just become like maybe one other subject, and it'll be important and teachers will pay attention, but it'll become like a very routine, mundane thing, जहाँ जो आप समझाना चाह रहे हैं, जो ऑब्जेक्टिव आप अचीव करना चाह रहे हैं, शायद ना हो. On the other hand, if you continue it like an additionality, then it's a great idea, but at some point of time, then there is always this risk of it being overtaken कि अरे ये project है, पढ़ाई करो भाई, ज़्यादा important हो है. So you have to somehow find that sweet spot, you know, how do you make it a part of the curriculum, but at the same time, do not make it so sort of watertight that the spark goes out of it. And the other important thing is to find the budget for it. You see, you have to train teachers, you have to print material. Most important, find seed money. And if you don't have that in your budget, so like for example, we thought about it a little creatively. I will not disclose it in the open forum where I found the money for it, but we did. So, but that kind of creativity is not sustainable. So you have to, as he's rightly saying, you have to find the money and put it in your budget. So the state government has to have that kind of commitment that yes, we will find the money to run this program and do it in a systematic way. And I think the results of it are going to be worth it. So it's just a question of convincing the state governments and the boards, and I think the proof is in the pudding. So yeah, it's pretty much there now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Samar, I'll come to you now. So as Dell Foundation, as this journey is panning out across different states, what would you consider as your commitment to sort of, keep to it, accelerate it? So how do you see your role playing out in making this sort of, scale?
So I think we are very, very committed to this journey in terms of, I would say, two things. One is to support an ecosystem of partners like Udyam. We are also working with Magic Bus. Dreamer Dream is also doing similar work. So I think there is a good crop of many organizations that are actually working with the public school system to see how these skills can be imparted. Everybody has a different entry point, a different approach to designing curriculum, a different combination of, practice versus theory. But I think we are all, implicitly aligned towards the same goal. And there is also a beautiful collective effort of about 40 organizations in the whole life skills employability space called the Life Skills Collaborative, where all 40 of them are trying to work together to say, okay, how do we harmonize? How do we figure out, ways of doing things together? Because I think this is an early space, and if we are not able to work together, then what you have is many small programs running which are not talking to each other, and it can actually delay, I think, the kind of vision that we all want, that all kids should have access to it. So I think we have a commitment to the sector as well as to the partners that are actually doing all the work on the ground with states. I think the second is to identify few states which are also very committed to the journey and partner with those states in terms of saying that I think for the government, budget is never an issue. Finding the budget is an issue, but I think, capital, the government has a lot, but it's more the curation of saying, ki, acha, like, how do we, get it into the system? How do we provide, like one additional thing we have been talking about is teachers also need a lot of hand holding. Aapne ek baar training kar diya, material print kar diya, teachers still have some doubts, they want to connect. So can we create some systems where teachers also can remain connected with the work and they can continue to improve their skills? I think assessment, whether it is marked, graded, high stakes, low stakes, but I think states do need some way of calibrating what is the impact of these programs, where are kids improving. So we need some kind of feedback mechanism to understand. So I think that's another part of the journey that we are very committed on in terms of saying that few high-performing states which have put the curriculum in place and where things are stable, how do you actually, get it to this thing where then, it becomes a little bit hard to reverse because system is giving you that feedback continuously that it's working, this can be improved. So I would say those are the two parts of the journey that we remain very committed to.
Perfect. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes. Maybe this is a good time to open it up for questions from everyone who's present here. Just wanted to, yeah, okay. So there's a QR code. Guessing you've already, there are questions here? Okay, great. Okay, so maybe Shyam, I'll ask you this question. So this is about, because we've also been, working with so many different states. The question is about the fact that I mean, the kind of people that you're bringing on as mentors into this particular program, right? I mean, are they people, how do you sort of think of them? Are they people with similar stories, similar backgrounds? Because I mean, you're talking about how it becomes more relatable, right? So throw some more light on this idea of, you know, can anybody be a mentor in this program? Who are the people who are supporting these students in this journey? Because as Dr. Mayank was also sharing out, everybody understands entrepreneurship really. So who are the people who are sort of guiding them beyond teachers?
Yeah, I think, yeah, good question. I think first thing is we are very conscious that the mentors have to be relatable to the student. So we identify mentors from the same, ideally from the same region, who have come from similar backgrounds and can appreciate the backgrounds of the students. So I think that is, and this time, I know that across all districts, this time there was a big drive in Haryana, and we've got, I think we took 1,600 potential names from the districts, and then we got almost like 160, 180 mentors is what I know, which we've got. And then they are mapped to the teams. Another great source of mentors, which we feel is actually a greater movement which we are seeing, is students who become entrepreneurs. Now they're coming back into the classroom, and we've seen that in Delhi. We're also now seeing it in Punjab, and some of the 30 teams, for example, in Haryana. A lot of them are participating in the teacher training. Now they are supporting teams, and they want to give back. And that's kind of becoming like in a way, a movement, and that gives us a lot of hope also that this can, you know, spiral into a positive movement. Yeah, so very relatable. Students can understand. In Kerala, for example, we've partnered with a foundation called Tinker Hub Foundation, which is across all the colleges there, where their students have entrepreneurship clubs. And those students of the engineering colleges, the entrepreneurship clubs, they are actually mentoring a lot of the students here. So there are different models, but the key is finding those who are really motivated for the right reasons, can connect with the students and really relate to them. Yeah.
Thank you. Next question, Dr. Mayank, it's for you. So the question is about, I mean, teachers are, entrepreneurship is a new thing altogether. But who are the teachers who are, I mean, are you training existing teachers on the new curriculum? Are you picking them based on the subject, especially 11th standard, like you're bringing more commerce teachers? So how are you sort of, you know, filtering that out, or even are you even filtering the teachers to do this?
इसमें सबसे बड़ी डाइकोटमी यही है. हम जब शुरू किया था तो प्रिंसिपल से बात की, बोले कि हमारे पास कॉमर्स टीचर नहीं है, इकोनॉमिक्स टीचर्स नहीं है. तो सबसे बड़ा समझाने की बात ये है कि ये कॉमर्स टीचर्स, इकोनॉमिक टीचर्स का पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट नहीं है. इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच है, जिसमें एक आइडिया को आपको रखना है. उसमें यदि आप बिजनेस करना चाहते हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना चाहते हैं, उसकी होलिस्टिक आपको रिसर्च करनी पड़ेगी. मल्टीपल जगह से आपको डाटा लेना पड़ेगा, तब जाकर के आपका एक प्लान बनेगा. उस प्लान को एस्टैब्लिश जो लोग हैं उस सिस्टम में, उनसे डिस्कस करना पड़ेगा ताकि कंक्रीट प्लान बने. और ये इसके लिए कॉमर्स इकोनॉमिक्स होना जरूरी नहीं है, कोई भी व्यक्ति जो है एंटरप्रेन्योर बन सकता है. ये बात समझाने में हमें काफ़ी समय लगा. सेकंड मैं चीज़ कहूँगा कि प्रिंसिपल जो है स्कूल में, प्रिंसिपल इज़ द एंकर पॉइंट. यदि प्रिंसिपल को हम ओरिएंट कर पाए, इसमें मोटिवेट कर पाए, तो बाकी टीचर्स भी लाइन में आ जाएंगे. और बाकी अगर सिर्फ एक टीचर लेड इनिशिएटिव है तो प्रिंसिपल, इट शुड बी द प्रायोरिटी ऑफ प्रिंसिपल. वो लास्ट ईयर कुछ हमने कम करा था, इस साल ओरिएंटेशन कर दिया, बट नेक्स्ट ईयर वो प्रिंसिपल्स की ट्रेनिंग पहले कराएंगे, उनको पूरा सिस्टम समझाएंगे, एंड कंपटीशन विल बी लेड बाय द प्रिंसिपल्स. दिस विल बी द थिंग.
Got it. Got it. So there's कोई selection नहीं है. Basically, everybody has to sort of play a part in what is happening. Next question I have for you, Rashmi ji. So I think the question is a little bit about, I mean, of course, हम बहुत सारी बातें कर रहे हैं कि हम लोग इसके बारे में कैसे सोचते हैं. In some glimpses we heard of the stories from the ground, but would love to hear from your experience some stories that really stayed with you, that sort of, you know, gave you the hope that this is possible. Beyond the theory of it, सबको पता है entrepreneurship important है, but really like what has given you the hope that this will pan out?
Yeah, so I think I'll just share some of the stories shared by principals, and I thought they were like really interesting. So normally what happens is that you're assuming that if a child is good in studies, तो life set है उसकी. But what happens to the child जिसकी पढ़ाई में बहुत अच्छा नहीं है? So there was one child who was not very good in studies, but very good at art. And now you see, government school children are at a disadvantage because normally we don't even have an arts teacher or a painting teacher or something. But this child was very good at painting, and through this curriculum, this child sat down and developed a whole idea on how he can sell his art. So along with the team, they figured out how you can market, how you can use social media and things like that. And that has now set him on this thing that, okay, academics I'm not good at, that's all right, but I can make a career as an artist by, using these skills to take myself further. I think that's truly interesting and amazing. Then there is one more set of kids in Bhopal in one school, and they came up with this idea of putting up a food stall. So through this program, they learned enough entrepreneurial skills to talk to the MP tourism people that, look, wherever you have some kind of event going on, we'll come and start and put up a stall there. So now these kids are putting up stalls across Bhopal for an event. Now, 16, 17-year-old kids being this enterprising and going ahead and doing something like this, I think I don't have to worry about what these kids are going to do in life later on. And I think the last which really struck me, and I was just kind of reading about it, is that one set of children in Indore, they came up with this idea on creating an Alexa kind of device, which is voice activated and does a similar kind of thing like Alexa, but it's a low-cost device and it works on internet, which is not very high speed and at lower rates. Now, this might think like you're just sort of copying somebody else's idea, but remember, these are government school children, and they have really, for them to think and imagine that they can do something like this. And MP, unfortunately, does not even have computer science as a curriculum subject in the boards. For these kids to come up with an idea like that and think like that, I think that just shows that these kids are, one, imaginative, and two, what is the kind of potential that this program has unlocked in them, that at some point of time, even if they don't do something like that, they will still come up with cutting-edge ideas and do that. So I think that to me is the success of the program.
एक बात मैं मैम की बात को आगे बढ़ाते हुए कहना चाहूँगा कि स्कूल में भी जो इंटेलिजेंट होशियार बच्चे हैं वो PMT, IIT या प्रोफेशनल कोर्स करके आगे निकलना चाहते हैं या फिर कोई गवर्नमेंट जॉब लेना चाहते हैं, ये भी एक सब्जेक्ट है, करियर ऑप्शन है। बहुत लेटर स्टेज पे इंसाइट इस चीज़ की आती है, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन के बाद वो शुरू में सोच ही नहीं पाता। तो यदि ये इंसाइट हम शुरू में बच्चों को दें तो वो अपना पूरा करियर प्लान, अपनी पढ़ाई इस इंसाइट को लेके करेंगे। और इंडिया को जो हम कह रहे हैं एक्सपोर्ट डेस्टिनेशन हमें बनाना है, पूरी दुनिया में एक्सपोर्ट करना है, तभी पॉसिबल हो पाएगा जब बच्चे हमारी इस तरह की सोच रखेंगे। उसके लिए दीज प्रोग्राम्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
आज नहीं दिखेगा, लेकिन this is about really thinking in the future. What can it entail? And so this actually brings me to Samar. I mean, you mentioned about longitudinal study. So this question is about really like little bit throw more light on that. Like what really will this longitudinal study entail? What will it really track? So if you can explain a little bit more exactly to what he's saying, कि अगर हमें ये data के base पे track करना होगा, so throw a little bit more light on this particular study that's happening.
So Shyam can help me out here, hopefully. But so this is a longitudinal study which is happening on Udyam's program in Uttarakhand. And I would say before I get to that, like there are lot of studies definitely coming out of US and Europe, which is showing, for example, children who have had access to project-based learning or a specific vocational or employability-oriented curriculum are able to show a differential in earnings. Now, for some kids, it actually stagnates over time, right? So if you have gone to a tier 1 college, you'll always have a very high earning chart. But, for the next set of kids, this can create a differential in earnings and also help you to grow slowly over time. There is a very interesting study which has come out of Pakistan. There's a project being done out of Georgetown and Harvard. It's called the LEAP study, in which they have also seen that, attending school and acquiring academic skills versus acquiring more practical skills, what is the earning differential in that? So I think there are some studies now which are starting to come out of like global south perspectives as well. And what the Uttarakhand study, which has just started last year, is going to track some students all the way from class 9 up until they graduate and enter the job market to really track their outcomes at each stage. What we learned in the first year, which was also very interesting for us, as Shyam was saying, is कि इस curriculum में 2 parts हैं. This program has 2 parts. There's a curriculum part which is delivered in the classroom by the teacher, and then there's a project part where you build your own business, you experiment. If you get selected from the school level, you go to the district level, state level, you get access to seed money, etc. And we have always been having this discussion कि अगर हमारे पास resources कम हैं या time कम है तो हम किस component को काटेंगे, right? Because these are the practical constraints that we live under. And I think the study has shown us very compellingly that If you just do curriculum without practice, no impact. If you do some practice, but it is not being reinforced through the classroom, very small amount of impact. But the combination of these two is actually, you know, helping create a significant difference. So I think that was a very important finding for us and gives a lot of conviction that both the components have to go hand in hand. Now next year, as the students go into grade 10, you will also be able to see like what is the impact, for example, on their board exam, on their other academic outcomes. Then what happens as they enter class 11? Does it influence their subject choice? They go on to class 12, you know, what does that influence in terms of their choice of college, choice of career? So the longitudinal study will track the age-appropriate outcomes at every stage. And I think by the end of, I think it's 7 years total, you should be able to see, you know, what is really the life, or I would say start of life outcomes that we can really create by integrating some of these mindsets and skills in school.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all the panelists, for
Thanks
taking
for
out
being
the
a good
time
moderator.
to share
Thank
your
you.
insights. And thank you so much, everyone who's in the room, to take out the time to listen so patiently. So with this, we come to the end of this panel. Please give a huge round of applause to everyone who's taken the time to spend